Hello, crypto world. Welcome to the Chart Historian. My name is Justin, and on this channel, I delve deep into crypto charts, exploring chart structures, fractals, and patterns. So I have the XRP chart open, and as you can see, XRP has been moving up since my last video. And of course, that is always a nice thing to see. Now, how does this compare to the structures or the fractals that I have been comparing this overall structure to? Well, how about we throw some of those fractals on and see what it looks like. And for anyone new to this channel, this structure that I'm going to compare it to is taken from over here. Now, what is this? So this is the first fractal of three fractals. Those three fractals stretch all the way to here. And this greater structure right here is a range-bound sideways time that exists after a bear market and before the next bull run. So over here, we see how there was a bull run here, there was a decline or a bear market, and then we had this sideways range-bound time right here that existed before this bull run took place. So that's what this is, and that is what we are currently moving into. So we are in the first fractal, so I divide these fractals into three parts. So that first one goes to here, and that is what I'm going to copy and paste over here. So let's do that. Okay, so here we go. That's that structure from 2018/19 pasted onto today's chart. And as you can see, it, for the most part, is doing something very similar. Now, there are some differences. There are always going to be differences whenever a fractal repeats. Height, timing, and depth, they're all going to be unique every single time, so it can lend to something that in appearance looks novel, but in reality is the same structure. The structure is the same. It's continuing to play out again. Now, why does this structure match the way it does? Well, I'm pulling from the correct place in the greater XRP chart. So if I pulled from a bull run, it would not match that well. If I pulled from a declining structure, it would also not match this well. I pulled from the correct spot where XRP goes into its sideways range-bound time. I pulled from the first fractal, which is what we are currently working on, the first part of that sideways range-bound time. So that is why it looks like it matches. Now, just to be fair, there are other sideways range-bound fractals, or fractal one of that sideways range-bound time. This structure has played out many times, and there are some that look not as close as this one, but structurally they are doing the same thing. Structurally, this fractal, it moves up when it first enters this fractal. I call this part A, and then it goes kind of flat. I call this part B. Sometimes it moves downward. So this structure has some deviation, has some variance to it, but fundamentally, it does a very similar thing every time it plays out. Now, I'm going to complicate things a little. I'm going to take this structure off, and I'm going to copy and paste this structure, which is from May to September, onto here. Let's do that. Okay, so as you can see, this structure also matches. Now, why does it match if I'm pulling from the wrong time? Well, when a structure plays out, there can be a lot of similarities within a certain smaller time range. So this is going sideways. It's range-bound. It's going sideways. So is this. So you have that in common. But it's a lot of times when a structure plays out, it does it in a fractal type nature. So this is repeating this, the same idea or the same theme is being repeated. It's doing the same thing. It's going sideways range bound, and the overall structure will resemble what just recently took place. You can see that concept in XRP, in many charts all over the place. So let's see. So for instance, this structure right here is similar to this structure, and they're both similar to this structure. So there is a theme that can exist in a structure as it plays out. Now let's zoom in here a little closer. What I'd like to do now is place the other structure or the other fractal from 2018/19, and we can see how they're similar and also how they're different. Okay, so here's both of those fractals. Now it is a little confusing to see, but the reason why I'm doing this is I want to show you how roughly they're doing the same thing, and then I want to focus on this part and show and examine the differences. So there is a possibility that, well, I would say from here it could go up a little more, but there's a good chance it's going to come down, and then once it's here, there's a chance where it could either go flat and sideways or come back up and then do a flat and sideways thing. So structurally, these two things are doing something similar. This one tends to move up higher than this did here, but they both go flat and they both drop. This one goes flat and it drops. Here we can see another choice that XRP has. It could either move up and go flat and drop, or it could just kind of go flat and drop. So we'll have to see how things play out once it gets here. It also could do something in between. It could take features of this and features of this and kind of make its own thing. Big picture, they're both different, but they do very similar things. Structurally, they're doing the same thing. They're going sideways and they're range bound. This one moves up higher than this one at this point. This one moves up higher than this one at this point. But structurally, they're both going sideways. They're both range bound. I'm going to take these things off. I run across technical analysis where it's moon boy stuff. XRP is going to shoot up and melt faces and blah 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 blah. Hey, I would love for XRP to do that. And for me to get on here, I'm just a nobody. I barely have any subscribers. But if I want to grow my channel, saying that it's going to go sideways and be range bound is a terrible strategy to grow a channel. My main focus is I want to be as accurate as I can. And you know, I'm going to get things wrong. I've gotten things wrong. I'm going to continue to get things wrong in the future. But overall, I want to try to create technical analysis that has its foundation grounded thoroughly in the chart. And that's what I do. My whole approach to technical analysis is delving back into history. That's why I'm called the chart historian, because I use history. That is my main tool. It's history. The chart's history. I use that to potentially project the future. I used to use all the other indicators. I used to love doing that. At a certain point, I became frustrated because I always seemed to have the same errors, and everyone else seemed to have the same errors too, because we're all using the same things, the same tools. So I at a certain point, I just kind of rethought everything. I love fractals. I love the chart structure, and that once I delved into it, it became a rabbit hole. I looked at technical analysis in a completely new way, and to be fair, I mean, to be honest, I don't see many people doing what I do, and maybe that's good, maybe that's bad. I don't know, but I do find that it does bring things to light that otherwise are hidden. Anyways, folks, I hope you found this video interesting. If you did, it'd be much appreciated if you hit that thumbs up button. And if you find this type of technical analysis interesting, you should hit that subscribe button. You'll be kept up to date with my XRP analysis. I love covering XRP, and I'll continue to cover this structure as it continues to develop. Remember, just because it's going sideways today, that doesn't mean that there's not going to be a bull run. There will be a bull run. We just have to get through this sideways range-bound time before we get there. One other thing I'd like to point out, I am not a financial advisor, so none of this information that I present here should be used or construed as investment or financial advice. I'm so glad you caught this video. I hope you catch my next one. Have a great day, and bye for now.